Hey everyone, it's Carrie Jackson here. I wanted to share a quick story with you about something I have been struggling with for the past couple weeks. So, the past couple weeks, I have been struggling big time with how do I have patience in a time when I really want to be gaining momentum. And I've really been challenged by this. And so something happened that I wanted to share with you that got my wheels turning around this whole topic and trying to figure this out. I've just injured my left shoulder after having a really long recovery and rehab with the right shoulder. So luckily, I learned some things from the first time around and decided I got to jump on this immediately. And lucky for me, my fiancé is a sports massage therapist, and he actually booked us a couple massages when this happened. And so I was going to get some work done on my shoulder, and there was a moment where, so I'm face down on the table, and she's doing some work on my shoulder, and she pauses, and her hands on my back, and I think, oh, maybe she's looking at something, right? She's assessing something, and I noticed my breathing was really labored because I had my mask on and I was face down, and so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a minute and take a few breaths as she, is looking at stuff, and then it's a while, and I realize, oh, she's paused. And she says, and then all of a sudden she says, can I share what I see? And I'm like, sure, thinking she's going to, say something, but like, I notice your breathing's really labored, or she's going to say like something about my shoulder. And she says, you put a lot of pressure on yourself with your projects. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, that's true. And it was interesting because it was right in the midst of me really struggling with this. And so I asked, I did some journaling on it, and I did some meditating on it, and I reached out for support and asked friends and asked colleagues and masterminds I'm a part of. And there's a few things that I came to realize. And one was, boy, I needed to just stop, right? I needed to pause and take a beat. Cause I was stuck in that like angst and wanting to force things to happen. And I just needed to hit the pause button for a minute, so that I could regroup and figure out what's going on. Why am I struggling with this so big? And the next thing was trying to assess, are these shoulds or are these wants? Like, do you feel like, because the pressure that's there, figuring out where's that pressure coming from? And do you feel like this is something you should be doing, or is this something that you want to be doing? And so getting really clear on my values and priorities to try and make this process a little bit easier with how to allocate my time and my resources. Like, okay, and to get away from that forcing. So stopping to pause and then really getting clear on values and priorities help with that. You got to stop trying to force this thing and see and allow it to develop. The other thing is, well, how do you eat an elephant, right? So break it down into tasks and goals. With so many different moving parts and so many really exciting projects, it can feel like a lot. It can feel insurmountable. So you got to break it down. And then the last thing was, I put up a little sticky note. I'm actually looking at it right now that says faith and trust, that I really needed to, that's kind of that final piece, is just trusting, like, you can do this. It's going to happen. Especially if I take a moment, get clear on my priorities, break it down, then trusting like it's going to happen. It's all going to happen. I might need to adjust the timeline, but it will happen. So I just wanted to share that with you since I was going through a big time. Not sure if anyone else resonates with that. Like, how do you have patience when you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this stuff. So sharing those, I wanted to share those tips with you. I love sharing these tips with you. If there's anything else you want to hear about, definitely let me know. Put some comments in the comment box there and let me know what other topics are big on your mind right now. All right, thanks for listening.